Hello. My name is April. I'm actually a card reader and a numerologist. And, I don't know, 2020 has been kind of fucking weird, hasn't it? Wow. If you're ever going to wake up, it would have been this year. If you were going to, spiritual awakenings were really going on this year. Well, numbers doubling up and the moon doing fucking tricks and shit. But I digress. Today I would like to talk about narcissists. The human vampire, the real vampire. Narcissists are a different breed. They were born without a conscience, and they were born without any empathy for others. They have very low emotional intelligence. They are run 100% by ego, which is pretty much fear-driven, really. I don't like to say a word about the ego. You know, you can be sad and do some shit. You can be angry and do some shit off emotion. But if you ever get scared, you are capable of anything. And I believe that's why narcissists are so ruthless, is because they are so scared. You know. Most abusers have the exact same method of operation. First, they isolate you away from everyone. Then they start fucking with your mind. Then they start fucking with your body. This is the way child molesters do it. Narcissists are no different. It's very important to always stay plugged into a support system, friends, family, because they're not going to let anything happen to you. Narcissist knows that. So he'll try to turn people against you. And he'll try to turn you against them. You know. There are 3 phases in the abuse cycle. The first phase is the idealized phase, otherwise known as love bombing. This is when they meet you and they treat you like gold. And they tell you everything you ever wanted to hear. Narcissists have a keen perception of people's weaknesses. And it's interesting because being abusers, they can smell people who have been abused. And very much like a predator in the wild, do they hunt their prey. It is very much a game to them. They enjoy the hunt, the catch, the kill, and the devour. That's how they survive. They don't know anything else. It is primal, really. Because what separates us from the animals but a conscience, right? Right. The first phase, idealized love bombing. Lots of sex, lots of compliments, lots of attention, a lot of selling you a lot of dreams, otherwise known as future faking, you know. And this can be very intoxicating. There's a particular trance that goes along with the idealization phase. They're very good at setting the mood, setting the stage. Yeah, charming, good, very good. Because how else could you feed off someone unless you could get close enough to them to get them vulnerable? And how do you get close and get them vulnerable? Is you get them to trust you. And how do you get them to trust you? Is you act like you really care about them. Matter of fact, narcissists will act like you're the best thing that's ever happened to them. And it will feel like a dream come true, really. They do this to get close to you, to gain your trust. To get to know more about you. To watch you and study you. To plot their strategy against you of how to abuse you for maximum power to their ego. When the idealized phase has absolutely peaked out and it just doesn't get any better, then they start to tear you down. Otherwise known as the deval. The deval has a lot of tricks and turns. Triangulation is one, trying to make you jealous. Gaslighting is another, which is like mind games, mixed messages, crazy making. The silent treatment is also part of the devaluation stage. They're nice, nasty. You know what I'm saying? They know how to hone in on your weaknesses. I just cannot put enough emphasis on that. You know, abusers, the really, really bad ones, will get you to turn against yourself. That is the ultimate in abuse. A lot of people call narcissistic abuse soul rape because it is a way of turning someone absolutely against their own being, is what they do. Because they have no soul, they want yours. The discard phase always follows the devalue phase, and this is when they ghost you, disappear, pick a fight, accuse you of something, convinced that you cheated on them, convinced that you're lying. They will Jekyll and Hyde so quickly once they gain your trust, really. This cycle is so dangerous, and here's why. The most addictive tool in the world is called intermittent reinforcement. And the reason why it's called intermittent reinforcement is because it is a sweet, mean cycle. They did this study, I guess it was on rats or some shit, and they get the rat to hit the button and his food would come out. Hit the button, food would come out. Hit the button, food would come out. Then they started randomly letting the food come out. He'd hit it 3 times, it'd come out the 4th time. Then it'd come out 3 times in a row. Then it wouldn't come out 10 times in a row. That rat became so obsessed with hitting that button and his pellet coming out that he hit that button until he fucking died. Like, for real. Like, he became obsessed with going back to the way things were in the beginning. And the human mind works very much the same way when it comes to intermittent reinforcement. It addicts you to the narcissist. It addicts you to the abuse cycle. Chemically addicts you. Here's how. When you're in the idealization phase, you're having a lot of sex, your body's putting out bonding hormones, you know, happy hormones, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. All these happy chemicals are pumping through your brain while he's charming the shit out of you. Suddenly, he starts to pick you apart. Here comes your adrenaline, cortisol, right? Norepinephrine, all of these stress chemicals. So you're having all these pleasure chemicals and then a sudden switch to all these stress chemicals. And your brain can literally become addicted to this flip-flop. Intermittent reinforcement is the most addictive tool in the world. Some people just call it being unpredictable. Sleep deprivation is also very much part of narcissistic abuse. They love to deprive you of sleep. Wake you up in the middle of the night, make it hard for you to sleep. My abuser woke me up at 3:45 in the morning, like all the time. It was awful. Something about your brain being in a tired state makes it easier for you to be programmed or to be controlled. You know, I read about how they train elephants in India, and it reminded me so much of narcissistic abusers. When they train an elephant in India, they go get a little baby elephant and they isolate it for 3 days. Completely isolated. They take it from its family. They take it from all contact with everybody. Complete isolation for 3 days. At the end of the 3rd day, They wake it up in the middle of the night and they begin abusing it and yelling at it and abusing it while it's tired and groggy and has been isolated. And they say in the middle of the night when they start doing that, by morning, they have broken the spirit of that elephant, and that elephant will have a lifetime of loyalty to that person that isolated them, sleep deprived them, and abused them. And it will be loyal to their master for life. It's an interesting way to gain someone's loyalty, isn't it? When I heard that story, it sent a chill up my fucking back. It really reminded me of how narcissists can break your spirit and gain control over you at the same time. They will take your money. They will cheat on you. They will lie with every word that comes out of their mouth. And they're convinced of their lies. Like, the final discard always happens when you figure them out. If you ever figure out that they're lying to you and cheating on you and isolating you and sleep depriving you and triangulating you, if they know that you know they're gone, that's when they're gone. Narcissists love to take you to the absolute edge and then bring you back. The ultimate pleasure, and then boom, devow. And then they pick on you and pick on you and pick on you, and then they crush you, boom. It happens rapidly. They have a pattern. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. The silent treatment is really hard too. It leaves a lot to the imagination. They know this. They love the silent treatment. They love disappearing with no explanation. They love like taking your essence of who you are, your talents, your light. They will take your money. They will lie about you. They will stalk you. They will bug your phone. They will fuck with your car. Their abuse is underhanded. They're not as aggressive as you would think a predator would be. They make it look like it's your fault. They may make you feel like it's your fault. That's when they win. Because you spend all your time trying to beat the game, and there is no beating the game. There is no happy ever after. It's never worth it. It's a bad investment. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to leave. And that's the truth. Trauma bonding is not a joke. It's fucking serious as fuck. Trauma bonding is otherwise known as Stockholm Syndrome. A long time ago in Germany or some shit, there was a bank that got robbed. And the bank robbers held these people hostage for like days. And like the women that were held hostage fell in love with the fucking bank robbers. Something about the abuse chemically tied their brain to them. It's like, you made the problem, so only you can fix it. You caused the pain, so only you can fix the pain. That is from lack of coping skills, from horrific abuse by a very trained and professional predator. A real live vampire. A real one. And if you're an empath, you are a target for these motherfuckers. Everyone knows opposites attract. So if you're an empath and you can feel other people's feelings, and you have a heavy intuition and a lot of sympathy and a big heart, what do you think your opposite looks like? Girl. Wow. Education is key. It's not your fault. You're not alone. And narcissism is becoming really prevalent in this society. I guess people consider themselves a winner if they can get over on other people. But just remember this. Isolate you. Fuck with your mind. Fuck with your body. Idealize you. Worship you. Put you on a pedestal. Fuck the shit out of you all night long. Tell you everything you ever wanted to hear. Ask you to marry them. Just unbelievable Prince Charming shit. And then just when you start to trust them, and you trust them while they're love bombing you, that's when they will start tearing you down, because they've got you. And once they've torn you all the way down, they're gone. They're gone. And you know, it's weird being switched on suddenly. My abuser had the same pattern, and he would do the same thing, and from idealized to discard was about 8 hours. Every single time I saw him, twice a week for like 5 years. Pick me up, everything would be great. We had a wonderful night. He'd wake me up about 3:45 in the morning, start talking shit. Sleep deprivation is a very important tool in their abuse, as is, you know, music and drugs and alcohol and sex, and they have a special language that they speak. They will use your weaknesses against you. It's never easy to leave a narcissist. The average battered wife leaves her abuser 8 times before she finally leaves for good. It's some real shit. It is like a drug addiction. It's like you know it's killing you, but you can't stop. It's like you know it's the problem, but it's the only thing that helps. I wish there was the easy way out. There is no easy fucking way out of narcissistic abuse. By the time you realize you're with a narcissist, it's too late. It really is. They will leave you for somebody else once you find out. And they cheat on you the whole time anyway. Really. They want you to kill yourself. Nothing will give them more pleasure than for you to completely destroy yourself and never know it was them. Like, they love getting over on folks. Like, that shit makes them feel so fucking powerful. Sick, I know. I feel like this needed to be talked about. I am going to speak on this further as time goes along. This is just what I got for today. I think it's 1 in 10 people are suffering with narcissistic personality disorder in this society today. Scary, y'all, for real. But also there's empaths too, right? People with special gifts to help others. People with special heart for others. So the empath and the narcissist are soulmates. Twin flames. The perfect balance. And if you are an empath, or you have a big heart or heavy intuition, you will come in contact with narcissists. They're very hard to say no to. Like, they're very good actors. Like, they're completely 100% about control all the time. Like I said, fear is the most powerful motivator. And namaste, motherfucking empaths and narcissistic abuse survivors.